Hello everyone, welcome to Move Well, Live Well. We get a number of people in here with issues regarding their low back, and we prescribe them a certain types of exercises so that way it helps them to engage their glutes to do the movement and to hinge from the hips rather than from the low back. So if I were, let's say if I were standing, move this a little bit right here. Let's pretend I'm standing here, this. If I'm standing and now I go to bend over and get something, what a lot of people do, they have this tendency to hinge right here in the low back, and then they're using a lot of their low back to lift the weight. So it's always like this. And then when they get to the top, again, they're going to lumbar extension to lift the weight. And here, if you can see my hand at the back of my low back here, you can see how it goes into extension, and then the low back just tires out and fatigues out, and then you have pain and then ultimately spasm through there. So what we're trying to do here is we're trying to get these folks to hinge through the hip. And there's a video that I did already regarding such, why your low back hurts, and to hinge from the hip. So versus hinging here in the low back, you want to hinge at the hip joint, right in through here. So now my low back can stay flat and I hinge at the hip. So what makes this video different than the last video I did with hinging at the hip? Well, what we're finding when we're prescribing these exercises for them to hinge at the hip, they're not getting full hip extension. So they're stopping short of full hip extension. Now full hip extension, if you see this on me, I can get there. See that? And then the butt, you can feel your butt muscles just squeeze in through that area right here. The butt just squeezes to get that last few degrees of hip extension. So if you stop short, because now I'm still in flexion here. I'm still in hip flexion. I've lifted the weight. Like for instance, if I'm deadlifting, I've lifted the weight and my back is staying flat and I'm stopping just short of hip extension. See the difference? It's just a few degrees. A lot of people, they stop right here. Oh, I'm done. And the glutes aren't even engaged, and now I'm done, and I repeat the movement, and there's not a lot going on in the glutes. So what we're inviting people to do is when they're doing these exercises is to come to full hip extension. And you see that it's very subtle. It's about 5 or 10 degrees. Here I feel like I'm standing up. But look, that 5 to 10 degrees of change to really get that glute to engage. So, what are some of these exercises? One of them being obviously deadlifting. The other one are hip thrusters. So, demonstrate that as well. So, as they're doing their hip thrusters, they're here. I usually recommend folks go wide. The wider you go, the more you're going to engage your glutes. The wider you have your legs out, the more you're going to engage your glutes. Right? The more you can engage your glutes. If you find, when you're doing these hip thrusters, if you find that you're feeling it more in the hamstrings, try widening your stance a little bit and you can engage your glutes a little bit better. So that's why I invite folks to go a little wider, so that way you can really work the glutes. So for me, it's in here, and I can really feel the glutes engage as I do this. On the side view, from here, and I go into hip extension. Now, this is a great exercise, but what happens is they get here, and now they're doing these, which is great, but they're missing, watch this, they're missing that little bit, that 5 to 10 degrees of full hip extension. So get you at a better angle there. There we go. So down and then up, and they're stopping just short of this. Boom. That's it. And you can feel that engage, that last 5 to 10 degrees of hip extension. You can feel that glute just contracting through there. And I can still keep my back in neutral by doing that. So by allowing yourself to get that 5 to 10 degrees at the end to really feel that squeeze. That's it. That squeeze in through there. You're going to help your back in the long run. So that way your back's not getting the 5 to 10 degrees. See, your glutes, if they engage right, your hip goes into that 5 to 10 degree of extension versus your back going right here to get that extension. And then you're doing this, you're hinging in here all day long, and nothing's going on in here, and this is turned off. But that 5 to 10 degrees of this is going to be a lot better for your back than the 5 to 10 degrees in here all day long. So, do yourself a favor. If you're having those low back issues where you're repetitively lifting something off the ground, we got a lot of people in here who are athletes, for instance, even those folks who are doing carpentry and or they're working in the oil fields. They're doing a lot of lifting and bending over and that type of thing, and they're being instructed on how to lift this, and they are hinging properly at the hip. They're hinging properly at the hip, but that last 10 degrees, 5 to 10 degrees, what they're doing is they're doing that. And their back is just giving out of them after a long day of doing that. So what we're inviting them to do, instead of doing that 5 to 10 degrees here, you're doing that 5 to 10 degrees here. And it's very subtle. You see that? Go a little closer here. So lifting, and that's where a lot of people stop right there, and then they do this with their back. So it's lifting, and now get into that range right there. Boom. See that? Boom. My back stays neutral. Boom. Squeezing those glutes at that last 5 to 10 degrees. Once again, they're lifting. They're going here, 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 here. They're stopping here. And what we're seeing is they're doing this to get that last 5 to 10 degrees, and nothing's going on here. So what they need to start doing is up in here. They get to that range, and now if you can see here, boom, boom. You're squeezing the butt, clenching those butt cheeks. If you have any questions, drop them off in the comment section below. We thank you for watching. Please give it a thumbs up, and lets us know that you care, and subscribe so that way you don't miss any videos coming down here in the near future. And obviously share this with people who are having back problems, and that way they have a better technique to add to their exercises, so that way they're not hinging from their low back, and they're better able to actually hinge from the hips properly, so it alleviates that back pain that they're having in their low back. Again, we thank you for watching. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.